17,000 fans packed Gainbridge Fieldhouse expecting highlights, not hospital bills. Yet with 46 seconds left, Indiana's comfy lead vanished behind a scene more hockey brawl than hardwood classic. A rookie superstar wiping tears from a scratched eye, bodies colliding in a swirling scrum, and whistles screaming as refs scrambled for a rulebook no one seemed to remember. One reckless eye poke, one blindside body check, and a flagrant two that hurled 3 players straight to the locker room, followed by a league verdict that left half the internet crying, "Cover up," while the other half crashed the fever shop to buy Sophie Cunningham's suddenly sold-out jersey. Tonight, we're rewinding every unseen angle, leaked locker room mic, and press conference flamethrower the broadcast cut short, all to answer one question. Did the WNBA just light a fuse it can't put out? Stick around because the final twist hasn't hit your feed yet. Bad blood on a timer. The tension didn't start on June 17th. It had been simmering for weeks, practically vibrating beneath every possession. Back on May 30th, these same rosters clashed, and Sun rookie Jacy Sheldon sent Sydney Colson spinning with a reckless dive, then landed square on Sophie Cunningham's ankle. Fever Nation howled, but the league brushed it off as incidental contact. Cunningham missed games, Colson hobbled through rehab, and Indiana's locker room pasted Sheldon's photo to the bulletin board under one word: receipts. Now fast forward to the Commissioner's Cup. Extra prize money, national stream, and front and center, Caitlin Clark, whose mere presence pushes ratings through the roof and opponents over the edge. From the opening tip, she was hammered on every cut, shoulders wedged under screens, arms raked down her forearms. Refs swallowed whistles, calling it playoff physical. Head coach Stephanie White kept her cool, but sideline mics caught her muttering, "They're going to break somebody if this keeps up." Analysts nodded. The game felt like it was playing on borrowed time. Meanwhile, across the scorer's table, Sun coach Rashid Mezian pumped his fists at every bump. His young roster had a simple mission: slow Clark down by any means necessary, and they were executing with uncompromising enthusiasm. Each elbow drew cheers from Connecticut's bench. Each hard box out another log on the fire. The arena could taste payback in the air. Indiana fans were just waiting for the spark. That spark arrived midway through the third quarter, an eye poke so blatant the replay left nothing to the imagination. The eye poke spark. Mid-third quarter, the clock read 5:28 when Caitlin Clark slipped her defender on the left wing and slashed into the paint. Jacy Sheldon lunged, missed the ball by a mile, and instead drove a fingertip straight across Clark's right eye. The rookie recoiled, blinking hard, tears welling as the whistle finally pierced the noise. Flagrant one, the officials announced, yet somehow Clark got slapped with a technical for shoving Sheldon away. While trainers flushed Clark's eye, the refs huddled at the scorer's table. 20 minutes, an eternity on live television, ticked by as fans booed, players stretched, and commentators tried to keep viewers from switching channels. Cameras zoomed on Clark's reddening eye, replayed Sheldon's reach-in from every forensic angle, and still the verdict stayed. Flagrant one, no ejection. That's when Marina Mabrey detonated the powder keg. As play resumed, she barreled in from the three-point line on the next possession, shoulder-checking Clark so hard that the sharpshooter hit the hardwood like a felled tree. Gainbridge Fieldhouse erupted into a deafening roar, half outrage, half demand for justice. Yet again, the refs reached for the gentlest penalty. Another double technical, nothing more. In the stands, Fever fans flashed 3 fingers. That's 3 free shots the refs just gifted the Sun. On the bench, Sophie Cunningham sat wrapped in tape, silently seething. ESPN's mic caught her muttering, "If they won't protect her, I will." Coaches tugged at her jersey, telling her to cool it, but everyone could see the fuse shrinking. For Connecticut, it looked like a tactical victory: rough up the rookie, rattle the crowd, and keep momentum. For Indiana, it felt like the league had just given their star a target on her back. The court temperature spiked another 10 degrees, and every soul in the building sensed it. The next hit wouldn't end with a whistle, it would end with fireworks. Those fireworks erupted with 46 seconds left, when Sophie Cunningham decided enough was enough. Mic drop pressers. The buzzer hadn't even stopped echoing before the real fireworks moved from hardwood to microphones. First up was Sun coach Rashid Mezian, jaw clenched, voice shaking with equal parts fury and disbelief. "That was a TPD foul. Disrespectful, unnecessary," he snapped when asked about Cunningham's wrap-up. Reporters pressed him on Sheldon's eye poke and Mabrey's body check. Mezien waved it off as accidental defense, then doubled down. "My players did nothing to deserve ejection." The room bristled. One journalist muttered, "Tell that to Clark's retina." Minutes later, Indiana's Stephanie White strode in like a storm cloud ready to break. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't have to. "This was brewing from the first quarter," she said, staring straight into the TV cameras. "When officials don't get control, competitors will. Tonight you saw exactly what happens." White reminded everyone she'd warned the refs twice. Mics had caught her, but they'd let it ride. She'd already eaten a fine in May for criticizing officiating. The subtle smile on her face suggested a second fine might be worth every penny. Backstage, a leaked tunnel recording only poured gasoline on the discourse. In it, a Sun assistant can be heard telling Sheldon, "We set the tone. You kept Clark quiet." Fever staff blasted the clip across social in minutes, framing it as proof the Sun planned the roughhouse. Connecticut fans called it an out-of-context gotcha. Either way, the snippet hit 6 million views before midnight and pushed #FireMezien into the top 10 trending tags. By daybreak, every sports show from Bristol to LA had replayed both pressers side by side. Mezien's "they did nothing" against White's "refs lost the plot." Opinion panels couldn't decide who was right, but they agreed on one point. The league office had a powder keg on its desk and just a few hours to decide whether to cut the fuse or let it burn. The verdict dropped that afternoon, and it only made the fire hotter. Verdict: fines over suspensions. Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Fans refreshing Twitter like a slot machine finally saw the notice. No suspensions. The league levied 4 modest fines: Sophie Cunningham, Jacy Sheldon, Lindsay Allen, Marina Mabrey, plus a lighter slap on each coach for public criticism of officiating. No one would miss a single game. Social media detonated. One camp screamed "soft league, soft punishment," arguing that a flagrant 2 plus a bench-clearing scrum should equal at least a 1-game sit-down. The other camp hailed the decision as proof the W lets the players police themselves, praising Cunningham as the enforcer women's basketball secretly needed. In the first hour after the announcement, Cunningham's online shop sold out every replica jersey in her size run. Secondary market prices doubled by nightfall. Meanwhile, Connecticut's front office issued a short statement backing Rashid Mezien. "Job safe, nothing to see here," but the #FireMezien hashtag refused to fade. Analysts on the evening shows pointed out that keeping everyone eligible for the July 1st Commissioner's Cup final might have factored into the league's thinking. Higher ratings mean bigger ad dollars, and Caitlin Clark's storylines are rocket fuel. Behind closed doors, players took note. Roughhouse tactics carried pocket change penalties, and star teammates drew instant internet armor. For rivals studying Indiana, a new equation emerged. Hurt Clark, brace for Cunningham. For Indiana, they just discovered their rookie superstar and her bodyguard could turn chaos into commerce. But as the memes flew and the fines were paid, a bigger question echoed through podcasts and press columns alike. Had the WNBA just traded short-term buzz for a long-term injury risk? To answer that, you have to zoom out, because this drama is about more than one game. Ratings, rivalries, and a cup final ticking like TNT. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Chaos converts to clicks, and the WNBA's numbers prove it. The Fever Sun Melee racked up 11 million views across Instagram and TikTok in 24 hours, triple the league's previous daily record. ESPN's late replay drew its highest regular season audience in a decade, while ticket resale sites watched prices for the July 1st Commissioner's Cup final leap from $38 to $179 overnight. Corporate partners love the surge. Veteran players, not so much. League legend Diana Taurasi warned on a podcast, "You can't build stars if they're in walking boots by August." Yet executives also know the Clark effect is a once-in-a-generation growth spurt. TV analysts are already billing July 1st as round 3. Clark's sharpshooting against a Sun roster labeled the league's most physical. If refs swallow their whistles again, expect hockey-style ratings, and maybe hockey-style bruises. Behind the scenes, Indiana has intensified security drills, and sources say the Sun practiced controlled aggression scenarios all week, code for keep it rough, but keep it legal. Meanwhile, Nike marketing is quietly prepping 2 sets of ads, one celebrating a record-breaking 3-point barrage, the other spotlighting a heroic comeback from yet another hard foul. The message is clear. Whatever happens, someone's highlight reel and merch line is about to explode. So the league stands at a crossroads. Clamp down early and risk a slower, whistle-heavy broadcast, or let rivals settle the score and pray no one leaves on crutches. Either way, one fact is indisputable. Every shove, stare down, and flagrant now moves the needle like nothing women's basketball has ever seen. But the fuse hasn't burned out yet, because the next collision is already circled in red. The bigger picture, growth or growing pains. Zoom out, and this isn't just Fever versus Sun. It's a stress test on the WNBA's entire growth model. 2 years ago, league execs begged for viral moments. Now they've got more than they can monetize. Every act of enforcement sparks a merch rush. Every post-game scuffle lands on SportsCenter, and every controversial no-call becomes a million-view TikTok clip. But there's a razor's edge. The same physicality that fuels engagement could also sideline the league's biggest draw in the snap of a ligament. Front office insiders whisper about a looming golden goose dilemma. Do you tighten the rulebook, risking slower games and lower highlight counts, or keep the leash loose and pray star bodies hold up? Sponsors are hedging their bets, crafting ads that can pivot from triumphant buzzer beater to heroic comeback from injury overnight. Meanwhile, old-school vets argue the game is finally reclaiming its tough identity, while new-school analysts insist modern audiences tune in for skill, not skirmishes. There's also an undercurrent of legacy at stake. Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise has already rewritten attendance records. Sophie Cunningham's sudden bodyguard brand hints at a WWE-style narrative machine the league has never fully embraced. If the July 1st Cup final delivers another viral altercation without catastrophic injury, executives may see it as proof the W can live on the wild side. But one wrong fall, even one, could send that strategy crashing like a bad hedge fund gamble. So the question looming over every practice, presser, and private owner's call remains stark. Will the WNBA harness this storm to lift the league, or get swallowed by the very chaos that's driving its ascent? The answer, along with the next round of fireworks, drops July 1st. And that's where our story lands its final twist. The fuse is still lit. The fines are paid, the bruises are already turning purple, and both locker rooms insist they're focused on basketball. But every time the replay of Cunningham's wrap-up foul loops on TikTok, another fan digs in for revenge. The league's decision to skip suspensions may keep star power on the floor and ratings sky high, yet it also guarantees that July 1st won't just be a cup final, it'll be a powder keg. If the officials clamp down early, we might witness a showcase of pure skill. If they don't, grab popcorn and body armor, because the next collision could rewrite the rulebook in real time. So now it's your turn. Should the W hammer down before someone gets hurt, or let rivals police themselves the old-school way? Drop your take below, and if you crave the unfiltered side of the WNBA drama, consider subscribing so you don't miss the fallout. The countdown has already begun, and the next highlight or headline is only one hard foul away.